Welcome to In the Moment with Court Tiakuzen, where we inform, inspire, and motivate you to be a positive agent of change. Good morning on this thriving Thursday, and we're thriving, not just surviving, not just barely getting by, but like I said, thriving on this Thursday. And I want to give a shout out and a good morning to Central Louisiana and the surrounding areas, Natchitoches, Gina, Alexandria, 88.1 FM, Monroe, West Monroe on 98.9 FM, Shreveport, Greenwood on 92.5 FM, St. Joseph, Natchitoches, Mississippi on 99.3 FM, and Lake Charles on 100.1 FM. And family, for all of you that would like to call in with your questions or comments, reach out at our local number at 318-484-2500 or toll free at 877-464-2500. And you can reach out to us throughout our social media area, all across Facebook, Instagram, wherever we've got social media. In the Moment with Court Tiakuzen, or visit us at our website at inthemomentwithcourttiakuzen.com. And family, we were talking about yesterday about the suicide of a dream. And you know, it's something that how a lot of us, like I said on yesterday, we will take our dreams and don't try to, actually go forward with the dream that God has actually given us because of different things that are possibly happening in our life. Just because, we think that, that was something that I was given at a younger or earlier stage in my life, and it really doesn't pertain to my life now. But, if a seed's been planted, in the ground, okay, that seed's going to do what it's meant to do. All right, it's going to produce if it has the right nourishment, if it has the right nutrients, okay? So when God actually plants a seed deep down on the inside of each and every one of us, and that seed being a dream, that seed is still destined to do what it's pretty much been planted to do. But guess what? We still have to nurture that seed. We still have to put the nutrients of where God is actually taking us, whether it's certain trainings, whether it's belief in that, believing in ourselves that things are going to happen. But what are we doing to actually make sure that life is being brought to that seed, that we're feeding that seed, that dream that God has, so that it can bring forth a great and glorious harvest? And we're talking about the suicide of a dream. And, we left off yesterday with the lack of support. And a lot of us, we look back and we think about and say that we haven't taken that next step to go forward into what, our God-given dream because of not having anyone to support us. But, sometimes you just need to actually give yourself a pat on the back to actually remain focused on exactly where God's taking you. Because like I said yesterday, in the scripture, David actually had to encourage himself at times. I actually had to encourage myself at times. There are a lot of us out there, and a lot of you under the sound of my voice, sometimes that the only way you actually made it is that you actually had to encourage yourself. But you should never actually allow the lack of support to actually hinder, deter you, or make you turn around going towards the mission or fulfilling the dream that God has placed on the inside of you. Okay, so don't allow that to be a factor in your life. I mean, just keep pressing on, and you may not realize it, is that the more that you actually press on and going towards the dream that God has given you, there are really going to be some naysayers out there that may have said, I don't see how you're going to do this. I don't think what you're talking about is actually going to work. You pressing on is actually going to allow them to say to themselves, wow, maybe I should have actually gotten myself together with that particular individual. Because believe me, just like I told you before, you would not believe the people that are watching your life like right now, okay? They're really watching your life. And whether you go forward or whether you stop in life is going to be the determining factor on whether they actually go forward with the dream that God planted on the inside of them. We're talking about the suicide of a dream today. Now, next point, embarrassment. Embarrassment actually kills your dreams. I mean, if you're actually, ashamed of your dream, you'll never go anywhere with it. And you might say, well, why would an individual actually be ashamed or embarrassed of their dream? How would that kill a dream? Well, so many of us, or should I say some of us right now, you kind of feel like the black sheep in your family. And follow me on this, because think of the mindset. People think low, the barely just getting by mentality. But every time someone says something in your family or in your circle of friends or wherever you're at, their level of thinking is like, I'm just going to think on the level of just playing it safe. But it seems like you're always, thinking outside of the box. How we actually had that that message on that. You know, thinking outside of the box, thinking of bigger and greater, thinking of how you can make a greater impact for people, thinking of how you're trying to set a legacy for generations to come, not just as far as like, you know, with your own family, but, you know, with those that are around you. And, you know, so many get embarrassed by that because, you know, they really don't want themselves to be, well, just to be the focal point of, you know, the circles that they're in. Because I've seen it and I've done it myself years ago, to where when people started doing things to actually make their lives better, you know, you'd get with that certain person, you know, one of those fellow crabs on the side that would try to pull you down or pull that individual down, and you start talking about, well, why are they doing that? Okay, who do they think they are? They think they're better than us now? I mean, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Each and every one of us have gone through a certain situation like that, to where it seemed like each and every time we wanted to do something better to actually progress and propel our lives, to go forward to bringing about our dreams, to where individuals will try to make us feel ashamed of our dreams. And I mean, and we need to actually accept, you know, what our dreams is, accept it for what it is, okay? Accept it for what it is, and stop comparing it to the dreams of others. And, you know, this is one of the biggest things that I see going around the country and around the world today. If God gave you in your mind a little dream, and you try to compare your dream to another individual's dream who I don't know, may be called to impact the entire state, but then your dream may be, or that God's given you, is to start like right where your household is. Okay, just like in the Bible, okay, with the story of the talents, and how each individual was given according to their ability at that particular point in time. They didn't stay at that level. You saw that if you read that, they increased, except for that one that went and hid his talent. And it's not about you not having a big enough dream, but God is meeting you right where you are, okay? So you shouldn't take your dream and try to put it up against someone else's dream and compare and say, well, God doesn't really believe in me. Yeah, he has enough belief in you to start you right where you are. But I've said before, a lot of times the level of where we start at, or the level of the dream that we have, is not based upon God's belief in us, but the level of how he sees that we believe in ourselves. So if you think that your dream is small, well, maybe you actually need to start believing in yourself, or I should say stop being embarrassed of the dream that you actually have, okay? I mean, and that's a moment point for someone right there. We need to stop being fixated and comparing ourselves to others. I mean, it's a really, really big thing. And I mean, some of the brothers that I have in church, I mean, they made a joke of it, but how many people, if you go to the gym, okay, and you may just be starting out, you may have just been in there for 3 months, but yet you start looking at people that may have been working out for a year, 2 years, 3 years, and, you know, the arms are cut, you know, belly is flat, you know, seem like they've got chiseled features. And then, you know, you've gone in there, you may not have any of these features that you see on these people, but yet you've gotten in there and you may have lost or knocked off 30 pounds. And instead of celebrating that victory that you have, you start comparing yourself to what you don't have. And that's exactly what the enemy likes to do. He wants us to keep focused on the things that we apparently don't have, and not celebrate the accomplishments that we already have. Not celebrate the accomplishments that we've had in bringing forth the dream that God has given us. And look, don't be embarrassed of your dreams. See where you're at right now, and know that through this entire process, God is guiding you in your moment. Hey, he said he'd never leave you or forsake you, but he also needs you to believe in the dream that he's actually given you. And when we definitely come back from break, we're going to just go right back into this, because guess what? You're going to continually be in your moment. Welcome back to In the Moment with Quartier Kuzan. Family, you can reach out to us at the radio station with your questions or comments on our local number, 318-484-2500, or toll free at 877-464-2500. And we're talking and speaking today on the suicide to a dream. And what's really evident is that, you know, like I said, we've got a lot of different points that, you know, we really don't actually think about that will actually cause our dream to be quenched, to where it would actually seem like it's being stagnated, to where it's not going forward, to where it just seems like there's no life to it. But, you know, before we went to the break, you know, we were talking about having embarrassment of our own dreams. And, you know, one of the things that actually causes an individual to have embarrassment is that we always think we've got to keep it to ourselves. Now, don't be like Joseph, okay, in the Bible. As soon as God gives something to you, you've got to go run out and just say, hey, look what the Lord shared with me. Now, your dream is not for everyone. Now, there's going to be a little, what can I say, common sense or a little discernment that you're going to have to use and who you should be able to share your dream with, okay? And then when you allow God to show you who to share that dream with, then you're going to find really some like-minded people to actually encourage you, and then those people actually want to support you in your pursuit of what God is actually, what he's actually pointing you, what he wants you to actually do. I mean, and there actually may be more like-minded people out there than you think that'll actually line up with the vision, the dream that God has actually given you. Because, it's something that you're not going to be able to do by yourself. No matter how you start out in the beginning, eventually, you're going to have to pretty much team up with like-minded people. That's just a part and process, and how Jesus actually sent the apostles out 2 by 2. Well, guess what? Sometimes God's going to have to put someone together with you to actually, probably bring about your dream or expedite, and multiply the vision, everything. But, sometimes we need help along that way. But another big thing as far as being the dream killer or causing, suicide of your dream is a negative mental perspective. Wow, I think that you can say that's probably the biggest thing you could actually touch on. That in itself is a show all on its own. The negative mental perspective, all right? I mean, think about this. Anything you want in life, anything that you've thought of in life, going to school, going to the job, trying to approach a person to date or whatever for the first time, okay, getting on a exercise program, whatever you can think of, all right? Your actual mentality, all right, really, your actual mentality is going to either make you or it's going to break you. There's no in between with that. You're either going to see yourself as being able to do something or see yourself as not going to be able to do something. And I mean, you've got those people, well, the term straddling the fence, okay? You've got those people that, well, I'm waiting for the right time, okay? Family, there is never a right time. You will never have a right time. You will never have the perfect conditions. You will never have the right people in your life. You'll never have the right amount of finances. And I can go on and say that till the cows come home. But what is it? The thing that you need first and foremost to start on this journey, to bring life to your dream, to stop having suicide come to your dreams, okay, is the right type of mental outlook, the right type of mental perspective. But like I said, so many of us get caught up with a negative mental perspective or a negative mental outlook that we don't even go forward in life. I mean, it's really sad, okay? It's really, really sad that, and seeing a lot of people out there that just because of the way they think of themselves, they really don't, how can I say, they think of themselves as so little that, they diminish the dream on the inside of them based upon their self-outlook. Or they diminish, if God, it's almost like Gideon, okay? It's like Gideon in the Bible, to where, he was hiding and trying to thrash the wheat by the wine press. And then all of a sudden, the angel had to come up and say, "Hey, you mighty man of valor, how you doing?" And immediately when he said, "Who, me?" I'm putting in my own words, who, me? Not me. I'm the least in my father's house, and our tribe is the least in all of Israel. So literally, some of us have had the Lord come right up to us, tell us how great we are, tell us the great things that he wants to do in our lives, and then all of a sudden, oh Lord, you know something, you got the wrong person. You must be talking to that person way behind me. Oh, and we turn around and look, hey, God's talking to you. It can't be to me. No, he's talking right to you. Because something what I really love about the Bible, it's not just reading the word, it's that God did not use any perfect person, okay? There's no one out there that's perfect. I mean, to say that even drew the line of Jesus, if you ever read like in Matthew when it starts talking about his lineage and how he had, someone that was in adulterous relationship, someone that was in prostitution that's in his family line. Come on, folks. Come on, people. Come on, family. You don't have to actually hit a 5-star rating when it comes to the Lord and being able to be used and being able to go ahead and walk into the fullness of what he's actually called you to actually do. I mean, God is letting you know that even in that time, you're right there in your moment. So look, that is why he's calling and letting you know that even in that, you are more than able to what? Be that positive agent of change. To actually go ahead and actually stand up to, basically break the bonds of everything that may be going on in your life, in your family's life, that mental state that you've been having for just so long. I'm never going to make it. They treat me like this. Sometimes you just have to get up and speak good tidings over yourself, okay? Sometimes you may not feel like it, but you may laugh at it, but there was a time in my life where I would get up in the morning, go to the bathroom mirror, and no matter what I was feeling, no matter what someone said about me, no matter how things were going on at the job, I had to literally speak to myself. I had to speak to my dreams. And it's one thing to where you can say, Lord, I thank you right now for giving me the vision on how, Lord, I'm going to enact change throughout the world to be, multi-millionaire, multi-billionaire. And then yet you walk to your kitchen and you got bills lined up going, due, past due. People caravanning to your house talking about, hey, where my money? Hey, got this bill. People coming to your house talking about, hey, cars, coming to get your cars, about to get foreclosed on the house, whatever it may be. If you're going to allow these things to stop you, then guess what? That's when the enemy knows that he has you. But, even in the midst of all of that, you've got to see exactly where your power source is. You've got to speak on that, what God has given you. Because those things, as I said, may be factual, but look, use God's word as truth to help elevate you. But get away from that negative mental perspective, okay? Think about the dream. Focus on the dream. Do things that bring life to the dream. And you'll eventually actually see yourself, believing the things that are coming out of your mouth. And you'll start taking the steps to, bring all of these things to pass. And stop thinking within yourself immediately. Now, how many of us, hey, this is me. I'm first partaker of this, okay? And this happens to me even today. When God tells me to do something, I'm like, yes, that's awesome. And immediately, as soon as you take hold of that, what ends up happening? This thought that the devil tries to put in your head, you're going to fail. You're going to fail. Why do you think you're going to accomplish that? And you really have to think, and if you really think about this, if every time something comes on the inside of you saying that you're going to go ahead and make it, okay? Listen to me, that you're going to make it. This is right now for you in your moment. But then all of a sudden the enemy comes to you soon after saying that you're not going to make it, but you already have a track record established with God and you have made it. Why are you going to go back and believe what the enemy said when he comes at you with the same thing over and over and over? He don't have no new tricks. He can package it a different way. A new person can come with the same old line. But look, that's when you turn around and you say, something? You talking all kind of stupid stuff. Because look, let me show you what God did in my life. Let me tell you how things didn't turn around in your life. Let me tell you how my marriage didn't turn around. Let me tell you how when people said because of lack of education, I was never going to get that job, but then I got a $20,000 increase. Let me tell you how it is when my kids got strung out on drugs and I lifted it up to the Lord. He sent somebody and now they running for the Lord. You can use all type of things out there. Family, you're in your moment right now. You're in your moment. We're going to bring light to that dream before this program is over with today, because we're not going to allow you to be stuck right where you are. You're not going to continue to go through life thinking that, you're just going to go along and go through the motions. You're not going to allow yourself to feel like you're a punching bag every single day, okay? That's over. That's done with. You're going to get up. You're going to lace up them soldier boots, okay? And no matter what the battlefield looks like when you get out of your bed or when you walk out that front door this morning, you're going to go with the full armor and ammunition of the Lord, okay? You're going to walk out there, and no matter what someone says, you're just going to tip your head up. And you know something? When the enemy's there, as long as you keep yourself fully armored, all he's going to see is the Lord right in front of his eyes. Because until you stop believing in the dream, until you stop believing in the vision, until you stop believing in what God has called you to do, that's the only way he's going to have free reign in your life. But I know right now, guess what? You're in your moment. You're more than an overcomer. And God is well pleased at the decision that you've made. And definitely when we come back from break, hey, we're going to really ignite you as you go in your moment and progress further in what God's calling you to do. Welcome back to In the Moment with Courtier Kuzan. Family, why don't you call in to the radio station with your questions or comments? And look, there's a specific question that I'm asking today. Is there any of you out there, okay, that has anything going on in your life as far as like something that you feel that's been holding you back, okay? What's actually been holding you back from actually going forward with your dream? Why don't you call into the radio station so that we can go ahead and address it? Call in on the local number, 318-484-2500, or toll free at 877-464-2500. And believe me, this just isn't, like I said before, this isn't about you just listening with me, and I'm so happy that you're out there and absorbing everything. But like I said, this is about actually being able to help each and every one of you under the sound of my voice, go to that next level. Go to that next place, that the Lord has in store for you. I mean, it may be sometimes we just need a little bit of encouragement as far as in our lives, because, we may not be getting it, from people that we thought we should be getting it from. And, the one thing that I've realized is that each and every person, I don't care how messed up you think someone is or what they're doing in life or what you see them doing on the street, each and every individual has something that can be spoken about to actually show that they have great potential on the inside of them. Each and every person. And some of you may disagree with me on that, but really, really you do. I mean, there's something that we all do. There's some kind of way that something that actually gets us to actually start walking, or should I say carrying out, what the Lord has on the inside of us. And, it's not for me to actually determine what that particular thing is, but it's actually for me on a lot of occasions to help guide people in that direction. And, that's why we're talking about on today, on this final part, the suicide of a dream. And look, we're talking about that negative mental aspect, and like I said, that's just like, wow, so much of it. And I mean, the main thing, we really shouldn't allow people, that have negative mindsets, or, that negative mental perspective, we shouldn't allow those individuals to actually, corrupt us, okay? I mean, how many times have people came in a room and, everything was just all right, people laughing and people enjoying themselves, and someone with a negative attitude just came in and just threw everything off. Or you go in and you're feeling, on cloud nine, and then all of a sudden you get with someone, you talk about, man, it's Thriving Thursday, this is awesome, look at how things are going. And like, what's so awesome about it? Man, don't you know what happened to me? I tell you, I lost my job and I can't find another job. And then people just start to try to bring you down so that you can get there and sulk, with them, and start to actually get your mind off of, exactly where God is taking you. So don't let people actually change, what your attitude is. Keep that thing positive. Don't go into that negative mental perspective. And I mean, another thing, please stop saying, it'll never happen to me. Wow. Okay, I tried for what? How can I say, some people, I tried for a full 3 months and nothing happened. Really? You tried for a full 3 months? Well, why don't you have the same thing like me? I tried for over 20 years. But what? I'm not saying I'm better than anyone. I just latched on to the dream that God placed on the inside of me. Just like I said, when you realize the dream and how valued and how powerful and how impactful it is on the inside of you, you're not going to let it go. Believe me, you're not going to let it go. It may be that you may have to just take this time on your drive to work, while you're cooking breakfast, as you're working out, whatever it is that you're doing, and just actually say, Lord, help me to revisit that place where you spoke to me, that place where you gave me that dream. Okay, that place where you showed me just exactly what you'd have me do. All right, visit that place. Let God show you that place. Allow God to show you that younger version of yourself that's actually excited, and carry that enthusiasm over exactly to where you are right now. And if you didn't realize it, your mindset is actually going to play the biggest part in this whole process. It really is. It's going to play the biggest part in determining whether your dream will actually live or whether it will actually die. And I mean, it doesn't get broken down any simpler than that, okay? However your mental mindset is how far you're going to go in life. You can have all of the education, you can know all of the people, you can have whatever finances that you want to have in life, but it doesn't matter. However your mental mindset is, okay, if you've got a negative attitude, none of that matters and you'll never progress in life. I've seen individuals out there, men and women, that have had, spouses that, pretty much, I'm not going to say worship them, but did everything that was needed to actually, make the marriage, go full-fledged into being happy, being joyful. But because they've had this mental attitude of, basically how I said before, comparing what other people had, or some false sense of what they thought their marriage should be on the inside of them, they kept a negative attitude, and unfortunately the marriages didn't last. So don't let that negative mental attitude just break up the different things that God is doing in your life, okay? And the next thing, you're going to have opposition to your dream, okay? I mean, opposition really kills your dreams. And a lot of us, we just like the children of Israel, when they came up to a lot of opposition to them when they were going forth into the land of Canaan to claim their possession. A lot of them, they started talking about, before they got there, let's just say the 12 spies, and it was just Joshua and Caleb that said, we're more than able. But then some of them started seeing the opposition that was before them, and they started saying, well, we're grasshoppers in their sight. They're like giants and everything before us. And a lot of people see opposition in their lives as the factor of why I shouldn't go ahead. But you should actually see that when you have great opposition in your life, that should tell you that your dream is relevant. Your dream needs to be brought to life. Your dream needs to be expanded on. Your dream needs to be birthed. Because you're not going to have, if you have this great dream in your life, you're definitely going to have opposition. If what you're thinking on and what you're hoping for, you don't have any opposition, I'm going to tell you, your dream is too small, or it's not going to actually cause the enemy to actually start quaking in his boots, okay? If you're trying to play it safe every single time, guess what? He's going to let you get enough ground to where it seems like you're accomplishing your dream. But like I said, if it's no threat to him, he's going to keep you in an area where he's controlling, your thought processes. But if your dream is actually so big, okay, to where he knows if it comes to fruition that he's going to lose territory, look, you're going to have all type of opposition. See, I told you, I'm not sugarcoating this thing, but when you have opposition coming from it, it lets you know just how much greatness that's really on the inside of you. So stop diminishing exactly what God has on the inside of you. And we always, we say the opposition is going to continually come. It really is, okay? Sometimes it'll make your situation get harder, and sometimes you may get thrown off your game mentally. But what happens? Just like when you're in a sporting event, okay, playing football, playing basketball, and, the team seems to, as the expression goes, they've got your number. They've got you figured out. And then all of a sudden, the coach has to call you back to the sideline and say, the plan that we came out with in the beginning is not working. We're going to have to resituate. We're going to have to reevaluate. Somebody, I'm talking to you right now in your moment. We're going to have to see exactly why we haven't been able to capitalize on this. And it may seem like we're losing ground just because right now we're playing their game. But when God actually goes and he says he's not telling you to retreat, but he actually allows us sometime to regroup, to come back and give us new instruction to where, we get past, those defensives, to where we can go ahead and score the winning basket in life, or to bring forth the dream that he's actually called us to have. But what? We have to see opposition as basically a stepping stone to go further in life, to go further in what he's called us to do. And then definitely two things you can do when opposition comes. Rise, and take, heart and actually knowing only you can grow your dream. For better or worse. All right. It's all going to depend on you. Now, like I said, it's not going to be about everything is going to just be on your shoulders. God's going to bring help to you. God's right there with you. He's never going to leave you or forsake you. But, it's basically you knowing that you have it in you to grow your dream or not go further with your dream. And look, don't give up because, the pressure's too much for you to handle. Look. Pressure, I see all the time. People can let pressure just make it feel like they're self-destructing and exploding, or you can let pressure just go ahead and shape you like that fine diamond, that precious gem, okay? I think that's why I love Proverbs 31 so much when it talks about, the full aspect of a godly woman. How it breaks down so many aspects of, her life. And then you have so many other things out there that shows you just how precious you are and how God is allowing these so-called pressures that we have in our life. Because look, family, I'm just like you. I've asked why all of these things have happened and why I had to actually endure so many different things in my life. But then when I look about it and where we are right now, wow. If we didn't have those particular pressures, we wouldn't be reaping the benefits of this portion of the journey that God has us in. So guess what? If you didn't realize it, I now realize it. I'm in my moment, and if you really take heart and evaluate yourself, you're in your moment. And God's allowing you to know that once you actually take hold of and actually bring life even more so to the dream that he has on the inside of you, you're going to affect a lot of other people as they're in their moments. Welcome back to In the Moment with Courtier Kuzan. Oh, wow. I tell you, it's been pretty exciting up in here on this Thriving Thursday. And I really hope that each and every one of you are taking that to heart. Thriving, okay? Thriving. Be thriving in life. Be in that state. Be in your moment right now where you say, you know something? I have been in that state of, just barely getting by. That state of actually, just living from paycheck to paycheck. It's actually time for me to thrive. Why is it that I see everyone around me progressing and I'm not the one? See, that's a question to ask, but that's a question that'll actually set you free, because it's going to cause you to actually start thinking on the things that, may have been holding you back, and also bring about the things that will actually get you set free. Sometimes we overlook certain questions in our life. We don't ask the right type of questions. Why? Because many times, let's just be real, we don't want to know the answers that are going to come back. And some of us right now, we're in this place, okay? We're in this place. You're listening to me talking about the suicide of a dream, all right? And definitely this is a topic that's very near and dear to my heart. And, I definitely expect that each and every one of you that have been listening on this morning and on yesterday and possibly on tomorrow will have let these points actually just go and, seep into every fiber of your being to just let you know exactly, hey, I can make it. Hey, that dream was given to me 20, 30, 40, however many years ago. And, it's not that the dream is dead. It's that the dream, just like a seed, if not given that proper nourishment, it hasn't actually started to grow. All right. You have that opportunity right now to actually nourish that seed so it can actually grow. And, most people really don't realize exactly the true greatness that's in an individual. Someone can actually have a glimpse of what God has given or what God wants to do on the inside of you, and they may be able to speak on that. And that may be the actual, catalyst that actually helps ignites what God is actually calling you into. But what's really evident is this, okay? When we were talking about opposition before the break, a lot of us don't really see it, how opposition can be used as a stepping stone. I mean, really, I was under that mind frame. Look, I told you when I was growing up, just because I was overweight most of my life as a kid. And, by the time I got to like 7th grade, okay, if you can imagine this, everyone in the school was probably about, 5'4", 5'5", or something like that in my grade period. And because my growth spurt happened like so fast in life, by the time I was like in 7th grade, I was the same height I am now. I'm like about 6'3", okay? So you can imagine me walking down the halls and I'm towering over everyone, and, even in that, you hear the jokes and everything, Jolly Green Giant and all of these different things. But then, of course, to have stuff like that happen in school, but then you get to your household and you hear things about, never going to amount to anything, different things about being worthless, so on and so forth. And it actually shaped me. But then, of course, what ended up happening? You have the opposition that happened in the household, opposition that happened at the school, but then you get this mental growth spurt when you start playing sports and everything just starts to shape out. You start to get more muscular, you lose the weight and, you get more defined. And then when people see the skills that you have, I'm talking to somebody right now, when people see the actual skills that you have, when people see the actual drive that you have, they actually want to start basically jumping on the bandwagon, okay? And then you still have to keep those individuals at arm's length, because why? If they nagged at you and they talked about you before you really started walking into your plan and purpose, really started cultivating the dream that's on the inside of you, they're really just going to want to try to reap the apparent benefits that they see that can happen in your life. So be mindful, okay? Be mindful of the opposition, but use that opposition as a stepping stone. And T.D. Jakes actually said, you face your greatest opposition when you're closest to your biggest miracle. Did you hear what I just said? You face your greatest opposition when you're closest to your greatest miracle. And that was from T.D. Jakes. And that's really true. Anytime you're right there on the doorstep of your greatest breakthrough, anytime you're about to have that dramatic shift that's about to happen in your life, there's always going to be this great opposition that's going to happen in your life. And you can look at Job for that, the things that happened with Job. Oh my Lord, if he didn't have some opposition that was going to happen in his life before his greatest breakthrough, I don't know anybody that ever had it like that. Well, until it came to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. But we really need to know that opposition, when it comes, it's just a clear sign to say, hey, this way to opportunity, this way to your dream growing, this way to realizing the full potential that God has on the inside of you. But what's really evident? When it's made known to you, when God shows you the opposition, when you're able to catapult and springboard off of that opposition, don't allow neglect to creep in. And what I mean by neglect, okay? just like the seed, as we talked about before, if you start to, once you finally once you've gotten to a point of a little bit of success in that pathway that God's called you to do, don't start neglecting the dream. Don't get stuck in that spot, all right? Because so many people, as I said before, God is perpetual. He may bless you in this one area, okay? But then all of a sudden, he's going to go to the next phase of where he wants you to go to. He's not going to stay at that point. He's perpetual. He's always moving. So he wants you to enjoy the success that you've had, but don't get stuck right there. Don't neglect the dream, okay? Because as you actually go forward in the dream that you have, a lot of you may not realize this, but the more you go forward in your dream, that's when your dream actually starts to grow. Okay, that's when it actually starts to prosper. It's like feeding it that nutrition that you actually have. And you know, there are going to be some people that are actually going to help you, but the fastest way to actually kill your dream is really to try to write it off or put no effort towards it. And that goes along with that neglect. You continually have to put effort towards your dream on a daily basis. I said it before, it doesn't have to be 1 hour a day. If you literally have to have a to-do list and put like that little A of importance to mark how important it is, an asterisk, whatever you need to do. And if it's only 10 minutes a day, do something that's going to make your dream go forward. Be productive with it. Don't be busy with it. Be productive with it. And I explained the differences between that. And then no action is too small towards going forth in your dream. Whether, like I said, it's reading the right type of book, motivational video, you know, do something. Do something that's actually going to cause your dream to grow. Do something that's actually going to nourish that dream on the inside of you, okay? You are worth it. If God says you're worth it, you need to realize you yourself, you're worth it, okay? That's what it is. That's what it's all about. I mean, with me, I can say to you that I don't know what's it going to take to actually click that switch on the inside of some of you. But look, just like I tell my kids and how I share a lot of my life lessons. And, you know, my wife and I, we don't sugarcoat anything with our kids, okay? It's just bold and point blank. If they ask us a question, ask us about if we did anything in our lives, we just let them know. Why? Because we don't want them to make the same mistakes or go through the same things that we did. And I'm being as open as I possibly can be with you because why? I don't want you, under the sound of my voice, to actually go through the many hardships, the many downturns, the many dark areas in life that I went through, miss out on opportunities, you know, kick people to the curb, or think that I'm not going to be able to achieve these things just because of how I thought about myself. You know, that's pretty much where all of this subject matter that we keep talking about is coming from, all right? Because I'm not going to share anything with you that I haven't had to go through or maybe going through right now in my life, okay? This is a process. It doesn't stop. I keep telling you, don't think just because you hear me over these airwaves that, hey, he's arrived, okay? No, this is just a stepping stone in the phase of where God is actually taking me. But, you know, you have to realize that on each stepping stone, it's about you actually building it with a firm foundation, or you're doing this like a rector set to where you're not taking note of where God's taking you. Then one day, because you're not stabilized in what he's doing in your life, you allow your dream to crumble and fall. So don't neglect what God is doing in your life. Don't neglect that how you are that positive agent of change. Don't neglect the dream in your life that's not only going to feed you in every level of prosperity, but feed your family and those that are around you. Family, this is Thriving Thursday. So take this message from today, thrive in it, grow from it, utilize it, and know exactly who you are in this moment. And when we come back on tomorrow, we're really going to just step into on the Fire It Up Friday, and definitely we're going to close this out. But look, stay in your moment, and I'll see you on tomorrow. Take care, and God bless you.